Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala here for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about how easy it is to build an A list of buyers. And you only need a handful to get started. Jill, I have to say, on this recording date, it's December 31st, 2015, and I'm really super excited about this new year. I'm sure that you are too. And what better way to start it off than with a healthy, a handful of healthy group of buyers, waiting to write you a check.
Yes. Sure makes my life easier.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's when you get into it too and you have this list, it's so nice because as you acquire properties and you get calls about properties, you know right away where they're going to go from the very beginning.
Yeah, so what we teach at Land Academy to our members is to build a group of A-list of buyers and to really promote the fact that you have properties for sale and to plaster them all out on the internet, because you're going to get more money if you sell them to what I call the end user, or sell it retail. Mm-hmm. You sell it off of on eBay or LandWatch or Land and Farm. What we do in reality is wholesaling. We have a group of buyers that we love, and they love us, and we bring it long before we even buy the property. We slate it for one of these groups of people. Mm-hmm. So, and it didn't happen overnight. Right. So this show is about, well, what did you say earlier? It's the importance of having an A-list and then how to do it.
Right. Yeah, the importance and the value, and then Steven's going to follow up with the specifics on the how. So that's the why. The why is you want to have this list. You want to be able to have buyers right there ready to go, and in your back pocket. Now,
the first person that should be on your A-list is us, by the way.
Exactly. Well, and here's what I was going to share is I actually have two lists. So, and I think that's really, really valuable. I have one list that has hundreds of people on there, several hundred people on my one list, because there are people who have reached out to me and identified that they like our product. They're looking for something. They're looking for like a specific property or something like that, and they want to be in the loop. So that's on LandStay. That's my Platinum Buyers Club. That's my big list. Now, I also have my own separate little list, which is my repeat, I'd say my big spenders. These are my people that have bought from us over the years, and they might have bought 40 properties at one time, and things like that. They buy multiple things. And so it's very beneficial to keep two lists going. So that's what I do, the big guys and the other ones. And the real value is, like I was kind of explaining, when a property comes in, I already know who I can sell it to, how much I can make off it. And as I'm negotiating the acquisition, I've got the numbers already figured out, and I know how it's going to happen.
Right.
And then I don't even have to advertise it. Sometimes like Steven said, I don't even do the retail thing. I usually don't. I'm a wholesaler. I do things out there sometimes, but I'm just going to put it out there, via email, on my website, things like that to our buyers.
If you're starting out in this business, I highly recommend that you do not do what Jill just said. I think that you should. I mean, it's because we're so seasoned in this.
Just starting out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, Jill's doing it all wrong.
Hey, I'm glad we're having this show because we're going to change all the policies in our company.
What?
Now.
Did you just throw me under the bus? Oh, I see.
You want to be known to a ton of people. You want to be building this list, multiple people a day. And you want to be known that you have lots of inexpensive property for sale. And they're constantly getting new properties in. And, we are already known for a lot of reasons that's what we do.
Right.
So you don't want to hide behind a rock and just buy property for one specific person or two people. And
that's true. It's going to
never
slow
have a
you
website and never post anything anywhere and just be basically super lazy about this.
Good point.
You don't want to do that.
That's true. I'm sorry. Sorry if I was confusing.
No, I wasn't confused at all.
Okay.
We've kind of earned it. Let's put it that way.
That's true. That's very, very true. But so the value of the list, I think we got it. Now, really the important part, Stephen, is the how.
Right. So here's the thing. This is super important. This is actually pretty valuable advice. The people who buy property, they have several characteristics. One characteristic is they already own property in the area where you're hawking your land. So let's use Taos, New Mexico as an example. Jill and I, Taos is one of my favorite places to buy property. We never keep it in stock, ever. In stock. Listen to me. We just never hold it because it sells so quickly. And there's just, for whatever reason, it's still very easy to buy inexpensive property. So if you pick up a couple of properties in Taos, New Mexico, for example, and you're sitting around wondering who the heck's going to buy it, the first place to look is at other property owners in Taos, New Mexico. So how do you do that? There's two easy ways. If you followed our program, you sent a bunch of mailers out to landowners. And that's how you source this super inexpensive property in Taos. Well, it's the same, you can contact the same people who own property there to see if they want to buy that one. And man, you will sell it. If you're good about that, you will sell it very, very quickly. The second way, and you can do this, in an hour from now, you can have a great A-list going. Go on to landandfarm.com or landwatch.com and look up the people who are either own property, let's say in Taos, New Mexico, or the agents that are representing people who own property, and put them on your list. Contact them and say, you don't even have to own a property. You can contact them and say, I have a 5 acres in Taos, New Mexico. I haven't purchased it yet, but I would love to sell it to you for $5,000. Would you be interested in that? And believe me, you're going to build a great buyer's list for free on those two websites really quickly, without ever having really even been in this business.
Mm-hmm. Love it. That's great advice, Stephen. That's really, really good.
That people, everybody kind of gets tripped up. Not everybody. Certain people get tripped up at certain points in this little adventure. Mm-hmm. Adventure to money, adventure to income from land,
right,
or real estate. That seems to trip people up. And I'll tell you why I think it is, because the conventional way to sell property, thanks to all these real estate agents out there, is to put it in some system like an MLS, the multiple listings, and then wait.
Right.
Wait for people to find you.
To find you.
Well, what other business do you sit around and wait for your customers to find you?
Exactly.
You go out there and get them.
Right. That's really, really good. And they're used to it. They get it. You know how many emails I get all the time, just random people, and it doesn't make me, mad or anything like that. I'm like, oh, look what they've got going on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all, I'm like, oh, I might look at that property, I use, kind of thing. I get it all the time. I am on several people's A-lists that I never, reached out to them firsthand. They found us.
Yeah.
And they are specifically saying, hey, I've got this available here. Here's the price, blah, 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 all the time. I'm like, great.
That's how you rent a house too. You put used to be you put an ad in the paper, mm-hmm. but now you go out on Craigslist, you say you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever in XYZ neighborhood, and it's for rent for this price, and it'll be available on this date, and you see what comes back. Mm-hmm. And man, if you get 30 or 40 or 50 people that are mm-hmm. interested in that, long before you even ever think about buying the property, mm-hmm. that's how you test the little environments. Mm-hmm. And Jill and I have a very close friend who has hundreds and hundreds of properties, and he does that still. Mm-hmm. He'll still do that before they buy a property. Yeah. That's
great. Well, what a good way too. That's a whole nother topic and a really good advice. If you're thinking about, being an investor and having a rental property before you buy the house, I think you've done this, run the ad, get an idea what the market's like. Yeah. See what people would rent. If I want to rent it for $1,000 a month, I want to see, are there enough people out there that it all makes sense? Put an ad out there, see how many phone calls you get, then this is a good investment. Yeah. Do it. Great way to test things.
Yeah. If you're a house wholesaler, do this. Go on Craigslist and put up a posting that says this, or some version of this. I have a property. I have a property that I've spoken with a seller of a property, and we've agreed on a price for his. You can do it with land too for his house. It's way below what the market value of the property is. Probably $30,000 below if it's a house. Mm-hmm. I don't want this deal to go to waste, but I don't have the money to close it. So if you're in this business and you are a house flipper, or you just generally like to buy stuff that's way cheaper and make some money, please email me, because time's important.
Yep.
And you will get inundated. Right. I mean, so this, you know what everybody says, how much money do I need to start? Or what's the zero down? Can you really do this with no money? The answer is hell yes. Can you buy property for no money? No. But everybody gets confused.
They do.
Find the deal. You can find a very undervalued piece of property, multiple pieces of property in any property type, houses, apartments, and then cut yourself in on the deal with the guy who does have the money.
That's one thing that I think people, for some reason, they can't quite grasp. There's a lot of money out there that people are dying to spend on this kind of thing, but they don't have the time or the whatever to go find the deals. They would love to have deals brought to them, like us.
That is why I started, Land Academy.
Right.
There's way more money out there than there is talent.
Right. One of the reasons.
I've said that many times. Mm-hmm. You want to have all the talent, because I'll tell you, if you can source undervalued property, if that's your talent in life, you are going to make as much money as you want. You're going to control your destiny.
Right. You know what's interesting about that? I just thought of something. All of our members, the members that are vocal and I see and communicate with, they're doing this for themselves. I wonder how many members are out there doing this for other people, like you just said. Mm-hmm. What we have done has shared our knowledge, our expertise on how this all works. I am sure there's people out there that have our program who are just doing it for somebody else. They don't need the cash flow. If they're not, they should be.
Right.
And just keeping a piece of the profit.
Yes. So in investment banking, I used to work for a company version of what you just described. We're an acquisition company for private equity groups.
There you go.
So we would source companies, and then because private equity groups are under a tremendous amount of pressure to buy new, to have acquisitions. Mm-hmm. So we would find these companies that were worth, call them middle market companies, like between $5 and $15 million that were generating, 10 or 20 million. It's priced very well.
Right.
And we would source them and just tee up the deal, and then the private equity groups would buy them.
There you go.
But, so that's what we do with real estate.
Right. But we buy it. But that's a good idea, though, for somebody if they're a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have.
Tee up the deals.
I'll tell you.
We'll teach you how to find them, tee them up.
This is so much better position to be in because we make the decisions. We don't report to anyone.
That's why we like this.
Yeah. And that's ultimately why I left that business. It was very lucrative. But it's like, hey, do you want to do this deal? I don't know. I'll check with my boss. I'll call you back. It's like going and buying a car from a dealership every day of your life. It's awful.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That made me think of the other day on the phone when I told that guy that he must have that job. It must be rough having that guy's job.
Will you please tell that story?
Are you serious?
I think that I have a confession to make. When Jill gets really angry with certain customer service people, it's a kind of a turn on for me. Like when you get angry with me, that's not my thing.
I lost it yesterday.
You lost your head on the phone with this guy at CHASE Bank.
Oh my gosh. That was so darn funny. All right.
What set you off about this?
It was the principle of it all.
It takes a lot to get you upset, man.
Do you know what it was? It was a phone call. It was an hour out of my life over $70.75.
Yeah, you could have made like $100,000 in that hour.
Exactly. But it was the principle of it all. I was mad. I was just really
start from
all right.
I want to hear this.
Okay, so here's the thing. I had written a big check.
We can horse around for the rest of this episode because we gave it all away.
Okay, we're all done with our important stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. This is more fun anyway. So
I agree.
Okay, so here's what happened. I was paying off this I was writing a check to Chase to pay off this purchase, and specifically called, made a big deal, was on hold 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, to make sure, okay, what is the exact amount today? I want my balance at zero, went through the whole thing and waited, had to check, I'm assuming they're calculating the interest or doing all that stuff, and came back with this number. I'm like, okay, fine. And that's as of today, it's got to be da-da-da today. I'm like, done, fine. Transfer the money. It's over. I'm done. Great. So I'm thinking my balance is zero, and I get this email about my payment. I'm like, what the heck are you guys talking about? I owe $70.75. I'm like, no, I don't. So I'm calling them up, and it, of course, you get transferred all over town. And one of the extensions I pushed was Spanish. It was really kind of funny. So a guy answered the phone. I didn't tell you this. He answered the phone and speaking Spanish. And I'm like, English? And he's like, oh, okay, my name is Hector.
Oh, it's the same guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's funny. They have multi-language. I didn't know this, by the way. They answer in that language because I pushed the button because I was mad pushing buttons. So he answers in Spanish. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble now.
You were so mad you pushed the wrong button.
I did. You know what I do? Because sometimes I just push zero till I get to somebody. I just keep pushing zero until I got to somebody. Apparently, one of those was Spanish. So anyway. So then he has to transfer me to somebody else, and I finally get to a manager, and the one guy did say he tried to waive it. I guess they can try to do it, and it came back denied. And then even the manager said at one point he did say, I tried to waive the stupid $70.75 just to finish.
Why is it denied?
Finish this call, but I can't because it's not a fee. It's something to do with interest. Well, okay, so here's the kicker. This is what pushed me over the edge.
Now it's making me mad.
Oh yeah. So what was pushing me over the edge was, this manager had the nerve to say, it's in the writing of this literature that you get on your, so somewhere.
It's in the fine print?
Yes. Somewhere in the fine print that even though you're paying it off in
Jill,
full.
So it's your fault.
Today.
You didn't read
yeah,
it. It's your fault.
They still have 2 months of lag time of interest they might want to, whatever it is. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I can see why that would just trip.
Right.
I can see that.
I'm like, are you really telling me that? I'm like, you're really saying it's in the fine print? You're a credit card
What he's saying
company?
is it's your fault. You should have read your fine print. I know. The 16 pages.
Well, you know what? And then my point is, well, that means, okay, if it's that means 3 months from now, you could come up with another thing. There could be 82 more cents that you forgot to charge me and I'm going to be responsible for. So
I'll tell you where you can put your fine print.
That's kind of how it went. So I told him, I was so mad. I said, boy, I said, your job must suck.
That's the exact moment that I walked into your office. It sucks to have your job. That's what you said. It must suck to have your job. Yeah. How did he handle that?
He hung in there, boy. He didn't, and I'm surprised he didn't go hell yes. I would have said hell yes because everybody else. My point was the person before him did not say that. They didn't say, hey, by the way, expect this. Even though I'm telling you this is the exact amount.
He's mopping up everybody else's errors.
That's the point. And I'm like, well then. In my world, if somebody makes an error, I'm going to fix it, or I'm going to go back to that. That was my other thing. I'm like, you know what? Then we need a complaint here because the person before you just wreaked. That was my other thing. I'm like, I want to make a complaint because had the person before you done their job, we wouldn't have been talking. I would have been ready for it. I wouldn't be calling you. Wouldn't be wasting anybody's time. I would have known. I would have expected it. They clearly screwed up.
Here's my question.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like,
that's okay.
All excited now.
Do you think this is intentional? Do you think the whole system's set up to get an extra $70 out of somebody? Or many, many people, I should say.
I think that I'm not alone, Dave Ramsey. When we come against these credit card companies, we don't stand a chance.
I think you're set. That's what I think. I think it's set up to fail.
We don't stand a chance. No, and it's just it's the way it is. And
I think the only way to have credit cards, and this is how I use credit cards, is run them up like nobody's business that month and then pay it off.
But you know what? You're still going to get hit with something. It's just that's how they do it. They got to get their feet. They've got
American Express. You just have an annual fee.
It's not a nonprofit organization. Let's just say that.
Excuse me. Oh, you're making me laugh so hard.
Thank
today.
you. So anyway, that was my silly little. You know
Jill's
what?
just
You're right.
sarcastic.
It doesn't.
Sarcasm is not your thing.
I usually have a really long fuse. I don't want to get upset. I'm much happier walking around this planet going, you know what, whatever.
Steve will
Here
deal
you
with
go.
That.
No.
If somebody's going to get mad, just talk to Steve.
Well, that's it's like, fine. If that's your thing, fine. Even driving down the street, someone cuts me off. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
fine.
I think that's funny.
Seriously, you're in a hurry. I don't really care.
I expect that now.
I'm not going to get upset. There is no road rage in my world. I could really care less. I get there when I get there. That's fine. If I'm late to the appointment, I call them and I tell them, hey guys, this is what's going on. That's the way I roll.
It's just
when one does push my button,
it's tough to not be in control of stuff and be surprised or blindsided by things like that. And that's what my whole investment banking career was, to bring this back to what we're talking about. Oh,
there's a topic?
Yeah, well, the topic is Jill's rant. That's what the topic is today.
Oh my gosh.
No, to bring this back to what we were talking about, I don't care. I was making crazy money at doing this investment banking job, really good money. But every day I'd walk in and say, hey, John, do you want to do this deal? And he would say, I don't know, maybe. Send me the stuff. Mm-hmm. And then some time will go by. It's like fishing, and then it's like, I want to do the deal so I can decide and do it. That's how this whole thing happened.
Got it.
That's how land stay happened. I'm buying some property. I'm going to buy a bunch of property. I'm going to in control of the thing, and I'm going to sell it. And I'm in control. I don't have to report to anybody, and I can do it as fast or as slow as I want.
Mm. Do you know what it was for me? Making money for myself.
Yeah.
It got tiring. I'm sure you did too. When you're looking at these deals that you're doing back then, and you're like, someone else is making $1 million, and I'm only making this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me think about this now. When I'm doing all the work, I want to make that money.
Yeah.
I want to do it for me. That's what pushed me over the edge.
Right.
And really, really got me doing my own business and multiple businesses now with you.
Right.
So
I just want to be in control of stuff. I'll work 500 hours for myself, but it's just tough, and not even call it work. But when you're working with for somebody else, it's tough. It's not even the money piece. It's just like, this guy's telling me to do stuff, and I know it's the wrong way to do it. I have a better way to do it, but no one's listening to me. That bugs me a lot.
There are some differences between you and me. Okay. Well, okay. Let me wrap up let me wrap it up with this, and then we can wrap up the show.
Okay.
Okay. The positive thing was, sitting in my email inbox was a chase. They had emailed me a customer rating for the call before this one.
Oh,
for the girl who screwed the whole thing up. So you better believe I wrote in there, Jill, exactly what I thought of the situation. So I felt a little better after that. So it's going to get to somebody about how awful this whole thing was.
I'm going to tell you my bank story, and then we're going to wrap this up.
Okay.
So a lot of years ago, the whole company, all of Landstay and the former companies were all run on tax sales. All right. This is before I learned how to do mailers, which is by leaps and bounds the best way to do it. Mailers are. So I don't know, stop me if I've ever told you this story. So a lot of these auctions they bring cash. That's all they take. Back then in New Mexico, that they would take cash or a cashier's check. And so there's only, in these super small towns, there's only one bank. Mm-hmm. And so I checked ahead of time, just realized that my bank was there and they had a branch there. And and there's tons and tons of money in the bank. So I win all this property, and you have like 2 hours to go get all the money, cashier's checks and stuff, and report back, and you get the deeds and stuff. So I go to this bank branch, and I said, I need these cashier's checks, or I need a cashier's check. And this bank branch manager charged me $20 per cashier's check. Did I tell you this story?
How many did you need?
It was a lot, man. I probably spent less than $100,000 probably at that auction.
No. How many cashier's checks did you need? Like, how were the fees? Was it like you just spent $1,000?
It was like $20,000 a check. So I think I needed 5 or some number like that. It was like more than 3.
Okay.
So no, you know what? I was going to spend $120 in fees.
Okay.
And at my bank branch, and they're on the same computer system, they don't ever charge me for that. That's how we buy property. You know that.
Right.
We send it out on a cashier's.
I walk in and get a cashier's check all the time
because of our bank balance and stuff. Man, she just wouldn't give up. She said, this is
What did you do?
She said, I'll never forget it. I blew my top.
Small town,
I
too.
blew my top, dude. I should have called the cops.
There were 2 tellers, and you're over there jumping up and down.
She said this to me. She said, this is a cost center for us.
She's pushing the button for the manager to come over. The police are being notified.
She's probably married to the sheriff, that kind of town.
Everybody scared her.
This is a cost center for us, and it costs money for us to do this. I said, I just lost it, man. I said, you're a cost center. You're the cost center. This bank is fine without you.
This is great.
You're the one who costs all. I just went nuts, man.
Your salary is the cost center.
And you know what? It was all a control thing again. So I had no choice. I had to pay the money.
I know I have to pay my
steam coming out of my ears.
Stupid $70. You know what? I chose not to pay that $70.75 yesterday. By the way, I'm going to wait till the last day. I'm not kidding.
Jill, you're going to get charged again.
I put on my calendar. Yeah, great.
Did
Here
you
we
read
go.
the fine print?
There we go. I'm going to get 38 cents now on my $70.75.
I'll tell you what. Just pull your money out. Close the account.
I know. Thank you.
And send the CEO a message.
Yeah.
Says, this is what happened.
Exactly. Did you see that big balance go to 0? There you go.
Join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss, or whatever you can call whatever that was just now, your all-important success in land investment and in life. We can rant.
Oh, my goodness.
I ranted on another episode a few episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I get that, man. I mean, anybody who's listening to this has been in this, probably last week was in that situation where it just can't get what you want.
So here's my point to the whole thing. I probably should have said this, but I'll say it now. We all need to do the right thing, even if it costs a little extra money or something like that. That was my whole point to the whole banking thing. You know what? And that's what I told the guy. Look, if I make a mistake or one of my people make a mistake, we're going to make it right. We screwed up. We made the error. I was only looking to them to do the right thing.
You're still ranting.
I am. Even though it's going to cost $70.75, I was looking to them to do the right thing. And I was really bummed that they wouldn't do the right thing. Nor was the guy a good guy to say, I wish I could do the right thing.
Right.
That's a whole nother thing too. When it's really, really out of your control, but you at least can say, man, if I could waive this, I would. That's
my question, because that's the question I ask when I'm in that situation. Do you have the power to do this, or are you just not wanting to do it?
Right.
Because if you don't have the power to change this, I'm done talking to you. I want to talk to somebody who can change it. Send me high enough so that we can solve this.
Right.
Plus, you don't want to talk to me anymore anyway.
I know.
And it never works.
So, yeah. So, okay. So my philosophy is, and this is the way we run our business.
It's going to go on forever.
No, but so here's my whole point. And this is a good thing for everyone. And I hope everyone operates this way. Do the right thing, even if it costs money.
That's right.
That is the way to operate a business. And if you do that, you will have a fantastic business. And the people that align themselves with you will never leave you.
That's right. And have the smallest amount of fine print involved in anything you do. Right. You know, that's
another thing. Don't be
fine print is created by lawyers who are concerned that they can't deliver what the salesperson people are talking about. They're trying to getting out of responsibility. That's what fine print is.
Got it. Yeah, be upfront, be honest, be transparent, and there you go. It's much easier. And then no one calls you mad.
Let's go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.